What if I told you that the most dangerous mind in wrestling history has become the most wanted prize? Paul Heyman isn't just being hunted, he's being strategically targeted by someone who knows exactly what he's worth. And folks, the why behind this might change everything we thought we knew about power in professional wrestling. What's up, Suplex Rumble family? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell because we break down the biggest stories, the most insane twists, and the psychological warfare that makes wrestling the greatest form of sports entertainment on the planet. Today, we're diving deep into one of the most compelling storylines unfolding right now, the mystery surrounding who wants Paul Heyman and, more importantly, why. This isn't just about one man. This is about legacy, power, and the ultimate currency in professional wrestling, influence. But before we get into the theories, the evidence, and the shocking possibilities, let me ask you, drop a comment right now. Who do you think is after Paul Heyman, and what do you think they want him for? Let's see if your theory matches what we're about to uncover. First, we need to understand something crucial. Paul Heyman isn't just a manager or an advocate. He's not just a guy who holds a microphone and talks. Paul Heyman is a kingmaker. He's a career architect. And most importantly, he's the man who sees potential before anyone else does. Let's talk history for a moment. The ECW revolution. Paul Heyman took a struggling promotion and turned it into a cultural phenomenon. He created stars out of wrestlers that other companies overlooked. He changed the entire landscape of what wrestling could be. Brock Lesnar. When Lesnar came to WWE, he was an incredible athlete, but it was Heyman who crafted the aura, the mystique, the beast incarnate persona that made Lesnar not just a wrestler, but a legend. CM Punk. Their partnership showcased how Heyman elevates already great talent into iconic status. He doesn't just manage wrestlers, he creates moments that define eras. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief's transformation from a wrestler the fans rejected into the most dominant force in modern wrestling? That storyline was enriched by Heyman's advocacy, his storytelling, his ability to make us believe in the narrative. So when someone targets Paul Heyman, they're not just targeting a manager. They're targeting the key to unlocking championship potential. They're targeting the blueprint for dominance. They're targeting the one man who can take someone from good to legendary. And that's what makes this mystery so dangerous. Now, let's talk about who could possibly want Heyman this badly. Because we're not talking about just any superstar. This mystery figure has to possess certain qualities. Quality number 1: ambition beyond championships. This person doesn't just want to win titles. They want to dominate. They want to build an empire. Championships come and go, but legacy? That's forever. And Heyman specializes in building legacies. Quality number 2: the vision to see what Heyman brings. Not every wrestler gets what Paul Heyman does. Some think it's just about cutting promos. But the smart ones? They know Heyman is about strategy, about positioning, about understanding the psychological game behind the physical competition. Quality number 3: the ruthlessness to pursue him. Here's where it gets interesting. Whoever wants Heyman is showing calculated aggression. They're not just asking, they're hunting. That tells us this person understands that in wrestling, power isn't given, it's taken. Quality number 4: a gap in their armor. And here's the crucial part: this mystery figure knows they're missing something. Maybe it's credibility on the microphone. Maybe it's the ability to craft compelling narratives. Maybe it's the connections and political savvy that Heyman possesses. Whatever it is, they're self-aware enough to know that Heyman fills that gap. So who fits this profile? Let me throw out some fascinating possibilities. Theory 1: the rising star. Imagine a young, incredibly talented wrestler who has all the physical tools but lacks the voice. They can go in the ring, but they need someone to tell their story. They need someone to make the audience care. Heyman could transform them from great wrestler to superstar. Theory 2: the fallen giant. What about a former champion who's lost their edge? Someone who's desperate to reclaim their throne but can't figure out what's missing? Heyman doesn't just work with up-and-comers, he resurrects careers. He takes the wounded and makes them dangerous again. Theory 3: the faction leader. Here's a wild one. What if it's not an individual at all? What if it's the leader of a faction who understands that Heyman's mind could transform their group into an unstoppable force? Imagine the strategic advantage of having Heyman orchestrating moves for an entire stable. Theory 4: the ultimate heel turn. And here's the theory that keeps me up at night. What if it's someone close to Heyman's current situation? Someone who's been watching, learning, waiting for the perfect moment to make their move? The ultimate betrayal is always the one you don't see coming. But why does the mystery man want Heyman specifically? What's the endgame? Let me break down the possibilities. Possibility number 1: the championship path. The most obvious answer: they want Heyman to guide them to championship gold. But it's not just about winning a title. It's about holding it with such dominance that people forget there was ever anyone else. Heyman doesn't create champions. He creates dynasties. Possibility number 2: destroying an enemy. Here's a darker possibility. What if acquiring Heyman isn't about building themselves up, it's about tearing someone else down? Think about it, what better way to destroy your rival than to take away their greatest weapon? What better way to humiliate your enemy than to turn their advocate against them? This would be psychological warfare at its finest. It's not just about winning matches, it's about breaking spirits. Possibility number 3, the knowledge Heyman possesses. Paul Heyman has been in wrestling for decades. He knows everyone's weaknesses. He knows everyone's secrets. He understands the business side, the political side, the creative side. Whoever controls Heyman controls information. And in wrestling, information is power. Imagine having access to Heyman's knowledge about how to manipulate storylines to your advantage, which producers and executives to cultivate relationships with, what really gets reactions from audiences, the hidden weaknesses of every top star. That's not just valuable, that's priceless. Possibility number 4, building a new empire. What if the mystery man's ambition extends beyond just in-ring success? What if they want to build something bigger? A merchandise empire? A media presence? A wrestling brand within the brand? Heyman revolutionized ECW. He transformed how we think about wrestling presentations. Whoever controls Heyman could potentially create the next evolution in sports entertainment. Possibility number 5, the Heyman guy legacy. And here's the emotional angle: being a Paul Heyman guy is a badge of honor in wrestling. It's a brand in itself. Look at how it elevated everyone who's carried that distinction. The mystery man might want Heyman simply for the legitimacy it brings. To be associated with Heyman is to be taken seriously by fans, by peers, by history. Now let's talk about what happens if the mystery man succeeds in acquiring Paul Heyman. Because the implications are massive. Impact number 1, the power shift. Whoever Heyman is currently associated with loses tremendous leverage. It's not just about losing a manager, it's about losing a strategist. The entire power structure of that brand could shift overnight. Impact number 2, the domino effect. If the mystery man gets Heyman and starts their ascent, it creates a vacuum at the top. Championships change hands. Storylines pivot. Wrestlers who were once in the spotlight find themselves scrambling for position. One move acquiring Heyman could reshape the entire landscape. Impact number 3, the response. Here's what's fascinating: how would Heyman's current associates respond? Do they fight to keep him? Do they let him go? Do they feel betrayed? The emotional fallout could create months of compelling television. Impact number 4, the bidding war. Once one person makes their move for Heyman publicly, others might join the chase. We could see multiple superstars trying to outbid each other for Heyman's services. Imagine the drama. Imagine the negotiations. Imagine the backstabbing. Impact number 5, Heyman's choice. And here's the ultimate question: does Paul Heyman even have a say? Does he want to align with this mystery figure? Because Heyman's not just a prize to be won, he's a man with his own ambitions, his own loyalty, his own agenda. What if Heyman refuses? What if the mystery man has to resort to blackmail? Intimidation? What lengths will they go to in order to acquire him? Alright, Suplex Rumble family, let's get into some wild predictions and fan theories, because you guys always come up with the most incredible ideas. Prediction number 1, the reveal is imminent. Based on the storytelling patterns we've seen, I believe we're weeks away from the mystery man being revealed. The tension is building too perfectly for this to drag out much longer. My guess? We'll know within the next pay-per-view cycle. Prediction number 2, it's someone we least expect. Wrestling loves to swerve us. The obvious choice is never the right choice. So while we might be focusing on main event stars, I wouldn't be surprised if it's someone who's been lurking in the midcard, waiting for their moment to strike. Prediction number 3, Heyman knows more than he's letting on. Paul Heyman is the master of manipulation. What if he orchestrated this entire scenario? What if he's been planning this, setting the pieces in motion for his next big move? Never underestimate Heyman's ability to be 3 steps ahead of everyone. Fan theory I love: the multi-person conspiracy. Some of you have suggested that the mystery man isn't one person, it's a group. A conspiracy of wrestlers who all want a piece of what Heyman offers. They're working together to acquire him, but eventually, they'll turn on each other. That would be phenomenal storytelling. Now, I want to hear your theories. Drop them in the comments. Who do you think the mystery man is? What do they want Heyman for? How do you think this plays out? The best theory gets a shout out in next week's video. Look, the Paul Heyman situation is proof that wrestling storytelling is at its best when it's about more than just physical competition. It's about psychology. It's about strategy. It's about understanding that the greatest weapon in wrestling isn't a finishing move, it's the mind. Whoever this mystery man is, they understand something crucial. Paul Heyman is the difference between being a wrestler and being a legend. If you enjoyed this deep dive, smash the like button, subscribe to Suplex Rumble for more breakdowns, theories, and wrestling analysis that goes beyond the surface. And turn on notifications, because when this story breaks, you know we'll have the first analysis video ready for you. Drop your theories in the comments, share this video with your wrestling friends, and remember, in the world of professional wrestling, the real game is always happening outside the ring. I'm your host, and this is Suplex Rumble, where we don't just watch wrestling, we understand it. I'll see you in the next one.